Coming up on this episode of Flashtalk, brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling, we catch up with head coach of the Kent State baseball team, Jeff Duncan. Our facilities crew does an interview takeover, which promises to be interesting. And our women's golf coach, Casey VanDamme, will preview the upcoming Mid-American Conference Championships. All that and a look around Kent State athletics is coming up in a flash. Welcome back inside the GFTV studios. Dan Griffin alongside head baseball coach Jeff Duncan. This is Flash Talk. We're brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling. And Coach, first and foremost, thanks for a few moments of the time to talk some hardball.
It's great to be on here again, and we were blessed this week to have really good weather.
We were, and we had four big victories. We flew the flag with a victory over Pitt, and it always feels good when you can sweep away the Zips.
No doubt, and we had a big weekend this weekend. Great crowds, intense weekend. Our guys played really well, and proud of that.
Yeah, let's start back again with a big victory over Pitt on Tuesday night. That's a Power 5 opponent who then went in and won a series against a top 10 Virginia team. So, I mean, that is a team that has got a lot of talent, and you guys went out there and pitched a heck of a game, got out of some trouble when you needed to, and just some good old-fashioned timely hitting. It was a well-rounded, well-played baseball game.
It was a really good baseball game. Again, good crowd on hand. And our guys feed off of that. So the energy in the stadium was outstanding. The support was outstanding, and our guys were ready to play. They played good baseball. They played really good defense. We pitched it really well, like you said. And I want to just cover on the defensive part. That's one of the things that we've been really working on and trying to improve. And they're doing a really good job. Since Bowling Green series to Pitt to Akron, I feel like our defense has been really good, and that's really helped us.
You guys have now won 7 in a row, and you've put together a couple of very nice win streaks over the course of this season, and we'd be remiss if we didn't congratulate you on 300 wins and crossing that milestone, 304 now and counting. And I know you say the work's not done, but that's got to feel pretty good to kind of look back and you're on the 30-win-a-year clip as head coach.
I'm getting old, so that's all I'd say. No, it's been good. We've had some awesome players that I'm super grateful for. Some coaches that have been great as well. So it's an army, and I'm very blessed.
Well, let's talk about the weekend series against the Zips. Friday night went a little off the rails to put it nicely, and when you guys jump out in a game like that, I know it's a rivalry game, but what's the message to we need to get 27 outs no matter how it comes about, and you guys were able to stay loose, have fun, and still execute when that game had gotten out of hand.
The message really was to master the process of the game, and that's something that we've been doing all year long, and that process sometimes changes from time to time throughout the year. And our big goal going into the weekend was to play good defense and move the baseball. And what I mean by move the baseball is strike out less. And that's kind of the process goals we're at right now. And we're thinking, we're not looking ahead, but we're thinking about how do we win a tournament. A MAC tournament. That's what we're talking a lot about. And these are the things that we need to do that. And we put that into our process goals going into the Akron series, and knowing that on Friday we were up against an arm that has had a ton of success, and the big thing for us against him was to move the baseball and strike out less and put pressure on Akron's defense, and I thought we did a really good job of that.
And then it carried over obviously into Saturday, kind of a polar opposite type of game. It was a weird game with a bunch of different weather delays and starting and stoppages. But you guys, again, especially on the mound, were able to execute and got enough timely hits off of a Akron bullpen that, through no fault of their own, had to try to get 8 2/3 innings worth of work.
Good teams, I think, win in many different ways, right? And I think you see a win on Friday offensively, actually complete,
sure.
Because Ben Cruikshank threw really well on Friday night. We scored 23 runs. It's an explosive offense. And then on Saturday, completely different story, very tight game throughout the whole game. Not a whole lot of hits. I think there was 4 hits apiece going into the 8th inning. A couple delays A very well-pitched game by Joe Whitman, and nice job by Mitchell Scott, once again, closing it down. I thought it was a very well-pitched game and very well-defended game for us to win that ball game on Saturday.
And then Sunday, that had a kind of a playoff game type of atmosphere because Akron starts to get some momentum going early, and it's back and forth, and you guys knew you had 27 outs to play with, and I think that was really a great mentality. The fact that you're able to stay calm when things aren't going right, knowing that eventually that levee is going to break and the floodgates are going to open for that offense, just the patience and the resiliency you showed on Sunday, I thought was next level.
Yeah, no, I think it was a culture win. Like you just a team that believes they can win right now, and we didn't get the start that we wanted to, or like what Chalice has been capable of doing, Eric Chalice, but he leaves the game, we're down 5-3. Our bullpen holds them, we were down 3-1, something like that. Yeah. I forget. Long weekend, but our bullpen holds them 5-3, keeps us in the game, does a really good job, and we kind of just chip away from that. And then, Aiden Longwell hits that long home run to make it 6-6. There was some, there were some fiery exchanges throughout the whole weekend, but there was the fiery exchange right after that, and I think it really woke us up, and we really dominated, the 8th and 9th inning from there on, and did a really good job.
With Mitchell Scott, a number of different arms, but especially the Scott and the grad transfer, to where he can, and I'll date myself, he can go Goose Gossage and get you 6-7 outs if you need, or he can come in and be the traditional closer and go 3 up, 3 down.
He's proven to do both, and he's proven to do both on back-to-back days, which is pretty awesome. That's a really good ad for us. We got him off the portal, Cal, and trust the portal, I guess, right? But it's been a really good ad for us, and he's been huge in closing down games, obviously, as I think it's 18 scoreless or whatever it's been. It's been pretty phenomenal.
A road trip up to Miami and then a quick turnaround where you get another shot at the Ohio State Buckeyes. But as much as it would be fun to take down that team down south, the big three are the ones this weekend against a game Red Hawk squad.
Yeah, no, we've got our next 4 games are against teams that wear the color red, and Kent State does not like the color red, so we're excited about this weekend. Miami has always been a rival of ours in baseball, and we're excited about this series going. And it's a good place to play down there in Oxford, and they'll have good crowds. They don't like us. So it'll be an interesting weekend for us, and it'll be another process weekend for us. Just to make sure we take care of the baseball, pitch well, find ways to win.
The same thing. I would think you guys could feed off of that energy as well.
It'll be, it's always been a good atmosphere when we've gone down there, and the last time we went to the NCAA tournament, we played Miami of Ohio to go there, and in 2018, I remember that pretty clear. So it's 2 programs that generally, Miami's had good teams in the past, and they're looking to make some jumps forward, and I know that they have this weekend circled.
And then obviously the Buckeyes on next Tuesday night. It's going to be a big crowd, 6 o'clock first pitch. Lots of promotions, lots of cool stuff going on. You really don't need to say too much to the team when that's the team you're facing.
No doubt, and we'll be excited to play. We lost a 1-run game earlier to them at their place, and we're looking to get one back on them.
Well, Coach, let's keep it rolling. 7
Thanks,
straight, and let's keep it going as we kind of march through this season. And best of luck going forward.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dan.
Coach Jeff Duncan, ladies and gentlemen, talking a little Kent State baseball. More Flash Talk right after this.
Hey, welcome Flash Nation to the very first episode of the Facilities Takeover. I'm your host, David Rush, or as I'm known around the block, Boss, here with my co-host, Jimmy Fetzer, who we affectionately call him James Reginald Fetzer III. How you doing today, brother?
Doing great. How are you, David?
Good. We have the honor and privilege to talk to you guys about the upcoming projects that we have going on Kent State campus. So let me first kick it off to you. What do you got going on at Dick Stadium, softball complex, everything?
Yeah, so very busy off season here for softball. Started back in the fall with our softball project, updating the facility, formerly known as Diamond at Dick's, now known as Divine Diamond. So that was a big project for us in terms of upgrading our softball facilities. We got the new turf, we got the new infield surface, new fencing. We actually pushed back the center field fence, made it taller, made it a little bit more difficult for home runs, but balls are still flying out there at Divine Diamond.
Yeah, nice. Now, for the audience out there, what's kind of the process that goes into it? Is it just, hey, here's some money, go build a softball complex? What's that process look like?
Yes, it's a very long process. So it starts about a year in advance before construction even breaks ground. First, we talk about ideas. So what do we exactly want for this facility? What do the student athletes want? What do the coaches need to be successful on the field? After that, we talk with our university architects. From there, they hire a design firm to help us with the design process, getting everybody's ideas together and making it a visual aspect so that everybody can see it and approve it and go to the next process, which is the construction. So first we need to do the bid process for the materials. So turf, infield surface, got to bid that, but you also have to bid the construction companies who are going to be doing the actual work. So that is a long process in itself. And then after that, we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to break ground, do some digging.
So it's not so much you throwing on a hard hat, getting a jackhammer and just doing it all yourself. Like you gotta.
Absolutely not. That'd be kind of fun, but I kind of wish it would. I kind of wish it was like that.
yeah. Perfect.
So, David, I actually have a question for you.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Anytime.
I heard there's some rumblings of some things going on over at the Mac Center.
That's a very inquisitive question, Mr. Reginald. We have another. It's honestly, summertime you think about like, hey, that's beach time. I'm gonna lay down, get some sun. But actually, that's one of our busier times, as you know, with getting construction and projects done. So we have an awesome project for our gymnastics program that's going to, right now, we're moving all the equipment out, and we're actually going to start breaking ground in the next couple of weeks to put in 3 pits. So the pits are going to be revolutionary for our team to add in that safety element. So when they're doing all those tumbles, all those flips, they can actually land safely in those pits, increase that kind of awareness to be able to try to go and get that next extra flip and do those extra projects. But beyond just the safety aspect, it's going to be a completely renovation of that whole space. So we're going to go in, take all the equipment out, put a nice new fresh coat of paint on there, put up some new graphics, and just make the space look great. I was joking around with Coach earlier today. Some of that chalk might have been around when old Bryce Biggin was doing his stuff down there. So hey, we're going to get a nice clean, get some new lights, and really make it a place that Kent State and the gymnastic program, those girls, can call home and just create that pathway for new recruits come in and just set us above in that MAC conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, so we got the 2 projects we talked about. There's a third one, too, that we're getting ready to go into as well, isn't there?
Yeah, here come May 15th, we're going to be clearing out the old field house to install our new track surface. We are going to install the Mondo Super X track surface. Obviously, Mondo's a great company for indoor track surfaces, well known around the world. So that'll be awesome to get that installed. We're going to be clearing out the Mac Center starting May 1st. Construction should be starting May 15th.
Perfect.
So looking forward to that.
Now, will that make you fast, or will I still win in a race?
Unfortunately, that will not make me any faster.
Okay.
It will not make you any faster.
Oh, no.
No. But unfortunately, that's not going to work that way.
Okay.
So it will help our athletes. It'll be way better of a surface. It'll have the nice cushion for them to be able to run further, faster, and longer.
Hope you've had a blast. Now, this is only episode 1. We're going to come back and take over it again for episode 2, sometime down the line. But we'll kick it back over to the man with the plan, Mr. Dan the Man Griffin. Take it away, Dan.
Let's take a look around Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSUTix.com. Our home weekend gets started with our women's lacrosse team welcoming in Central Michigan for a 1 p.m. draw on Saturday afternoon inside Dick Stadium. Later that evening on Saturday night, it'll be an open practice with our Kent Grit football team as they go through spring ball. And don't forget, all weekend long, it's the Women's Golf Mid-American Conference Championships out at Western Michigan. Next week, softball is at home welcoming in Buffalo for a 2-day, 3-game series starting on Tuesday afternoon. And on Tuesday evening, baseball welcomes in The Ohio State University for a 6 p.m. first pitch. And on Saturday evening, it'll be our annual spring game inside Dick Stadium with a 6 p.m. start time. And don't forget, tickets are now on sale for the Kent Grit era coming up this fall. For tickets and information, visit ksutix.com. And for all information about Kent State Athletics, visit kentstatesports.com and across all Kent State's social media channels. And welcome back, Flash fans. Inside the GFTV studios, it's Flash Talk brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling. Dan Griffin alongside head women's golf coach Casey VanDamme. And Coach, you guys are going off for the first MAC championship of the spring. I can't believe we are already in championship week and championship season.
Yeah, my assistant Maggie Murphy and I were just talking about it. It's just the spring has flown by this year.
So collegiate golf plays basically 2 seasons. You have a warm up in the fall, and then obviously the competitive and championship season here in the spring. So let's go a little bit back to the fall because we're in Western Michigan's the host. We're going to a Kalamazoo golf course. You guys were able to play that during that fall session, and if nothing else, gave you a sense of what's to come here this weekend. So talk a little bit about that experience and how the fall kind of unfolded and kind of handled into the spring.
Yeah, well, our fall and our spring both count for our ranking, both count kind of normal, which is a little bit unusual.
Sure.
And then our championship season is upon us right now. We got to play some practice round at Kalamazoo Country Club. It's a incredible golf course. Very, very the green complexes and bunkering and stuff is a little bit different from what we've seen in the past. It was great to see it and play, and we had a great fall, and we played the course well the day we played it, and kind of similar conditions to probably what we'll see. We played it late in the fall. It was cold and windy, and so I think we know exactly what we're getting into.
Yeah, and this is the type of weather that you guys train in and practice in all season long. It's got a, for lack of a better word, British Open type of feel to it. As you guys are going to go off for a practice round on Thursday, and then the 3 rounds this weekend. And nice day on. You're going to have wind and heat, and then you're going to have rain and cold. So you're going to be battling the elements as we could try to bring home yet another title.
Yeah, we're going to get a sunburn the first day and a wind burn, and then the snow is going to cool it off the last day, I think. We're going to have all of the weather, from potentially even thunderstorms. We're going to have wind. It's going to be warm at first, and then it's going to get real cold. So what a great way to that's what we expect in Michigan this time of year. I'm from Michigan, so I know all about it. And so, yes, we train in all that. We unfortunately and fortunately get to practice in that kind of all since January.
And you held your own against some Power 5 programs, but just talk about the last few rounds that the team has been playing and how you guys feeling going into Kalamazoo.
Yeah, we've been up and down a little bit this spring, to be honest with you. We didn't play up to our potential. Specifically, our top players who've played very well for us this the whole year, and so they struggled a little bit. The last 2 rounds specifically, and so not anything to worry about. They're going to be ready to go for the MAC championship, that's for sure. But yeah, it was a Big Ten. The whole Big Ten was there except for Northwestern, I believe, and we were the only non-Big Ten school there. So it was an interesting event and great golf course we played on in championship conditions. So it was a good one to kind of prep us to get ready for Kalamazoo Country Club.
As you hype up your team and you know that the adrenaline's going to be running high, and I mean, you can try to swing the golf club as hard as you want, but at some point there's a loss of speed and control that you have to kind of harness a little bit.
Yeah, well, the viewers will know that golf is a very unique game. It's mental, it's emotional, it's physical, and then you throw weather and external factors in there, and an importance level of a championship, and so you have. We're not necessarily ever hyping players up. We're trying to usually calm them down a little bit and get them prepared mentally. And I think they're in a good spot for that. Golf, we think, is mental. There's a mental component. There's a management component of getting ready, getting schoolwork ready, getting your body ready, and then obviously the physical part of like what's your swing doing? Can we hit some knockdown shots? What do we got in that regard? And so there's all these different things we look at as we're getting ready to go into a tournament, and I think we're in pretty good shape.
Is it a little bit more laid back with maybe a movie night or something like that, or how do you guys go through it to make sure that everybody's cool, calm, relaxed, and then it's go time?
Yeah, it's a really unique thing that you're always trying to, and it changes a lot. It's all based on your individuals. We're a very unique sport. It's all individuals, and we come together and put a team score together. And so everybody has a little different way to do that, I think. And so trying to work with them and figure out a way that is best for our team, and then also they need to do it on their own, is always a thing that golf coaches are trying to figure out. And there's never an exact formula. It changes each year, I think.
And then you guys play the top 4, regardless if it's your number 1 golfer or your number 5 golfer. The top 4, regardless, count. So, I mean, like you said, you're looking for consistency 1 through 5, because if somebody gets hot or maybe a ball gets lost in the woods or something like that, things can change really quickly, and all of a sudden you're maybe relying on somebody that you don't always.
Yeah, it's every shot matters.
Right.
We do get to throw out 1 score, and I think they do that so you can have a team score if someone would get injured and couldn't
Sure.
play, and that was the start of that. And so it's really important they all contribute.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a 72-hole event, and best of luck. The Mid-American Conference has obviously been very kind to Kent State here over the course of the women's golf history, but the conference is by and large a very deep and very evenly played conference.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. Looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, thanks very much for a few moments of your time, and best of luck this weekend as we root you on for another championship.
Thank you very much, Dan.
That's going to do it for this edition of Flash Talk, brought to you by Brian Heing & Cooling. Join us next week once again when we take a deep dive into all things Kent State athletics. For all of us inside the GFTV studios, this is Dan Griffin saying good night and go Flashes.